Hey, Bart from Biloxi Bicycle Works. I was just closing up the shop for the night and I figured I'd do a quick little video on the Electra Cruiser Go. This is a very smart e-bike. It's actually what I use in my bike shop as a rental bike. That's why it says rent me on it right there. There's a lot of reasons why I have chosen this bike as my rental fleet compared to some of the other bikes. One, it's an Electra, which is a Trek product. So if something happens and I need to replace a part, I have a big company like Trek that's going to give me great customer support. I am a dealer, so I am in my little bike shop, Biloxi Bicycle Works. Excuse the mess, but this is a 117-year-old building, and at night we store the bikes inside here. So I am a Electra dealer. This is the Cruiser 7-speed. I really wanted to do the video basically on their e-bike, their Go series. But let me show you what people are buying. Now this is a Big Sur, this is an Amiya bike. And when you look at on specs, and here in the American market, of course we're in Biloxi, Mississippi, people buy on spec quite a bit. So this bike has a 750 watt motor with a 630 watt hour capacity battery, and it's big power, and it's about the same price. This bike here is coming in at 1,800 bucks, and the Electra Cruiser Goes are about the same price. Now price fluctuates when Electra's having their sales, but I think you can get this bike down to like 1,100 bucks right now. So let's just go for the normal price, which is around 1,800 bucks. And you get a 250 watt Hyena motor with a 250 watt internal battery. So sometimes when you're looking at the specs of these bikes, here in America, bigger is always better. Contrary to that, I see people buying more bike than they need. A lot of people want a comfortable cruiser that's manageable, light, easy to ride, and has just a little bit of assistance. And when I say a little bit, 250 watt is quite a bit of assistance. So here you've got an e-cruiser. Excuse me, guys. An e-cruiser that has a sensible 250 watt Hyena motor, one speed, single speed. That's all you need. You don't need the gears. As a rental bike and a rental fleet, I really like selling a one-speed bike because people don't have a derailleur to mess with, and most of the time when you are riding an e-bike, you don't really need the full derailleur anyway unless you know how to use it. Here's some examples of some of their signature series bikes. So when you talk about a signature series, you're talking about a couple $100 more, and they do have color paint, color matched paint and seats. They even give you a little tail light on the fender and a little headlight. So if you got a chance to check out some of the signature series Electra Cruiser Goes, I think this one's super cool. Kind of has like a tribal pattern to it, maybe a Hawaii. I think they call this one a cacao. But I'm a big fan of the silver. So you can see I sell a lot of these bikes out of my bike shop, and I like to sell these bikes because a lot of times this is what people are really wanting. They're wanting something easy to ride. They want a bike with a little bit of assistance, something that rides like a bike but does take the input of the rider. So these do not have a throttle. It's a simple, nice and clean little on button here. Let me just go ahead and turn this thing on. It's got a couple green lights. The green lights are your battery indicator, and the up and down is your power indicator. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 levels of assistance if you include completely off. So you can fluctuate between off, 1, 2, and 3 for more power, and then you just turn it off. So a lot of people like the very simplistic design of the Electra Cruiser. I've had several people. I am an Aventon dealer, so Aventon's been a very popular bike in the e-bike market. Now most of them are 500 to 750 watts of power with a high capacity battery, 630 watt, and most of them have a throttle 20 to 28 miles an hour. People are finding out they don't need that they'd rather just have a regular cruiser style bike with a little bit of assistance. We're in Biloxi, Mississippi here, so we've got Biloxi Beach right there. We've got an awesome, path to ride on, and I do rent these bikes even around town. I mean, I'm a bicycle racer. I'm a mountain biker. I'm a gravel rider. I'm a a road biker. I love getting on these Electra Cruisers and just enjoying the ride. They have a comfortable seat, good brakes. I'm not going to go over the parts spec because they're not super high-end parts. I mean, you've got a cable operated disc brakes and a 180 rotor mixed to a Hyena motor and a single speed crank. Sweat back bars, keep your back nice and straight. So these are the bikes I rent out of my shop. And when you're renting bikes out to people, you know, when you rent a car, you usually hit that gas pedal quite a bit. I know when people rent these bikes, you know, they're not trying to trash them, but they're also using them to their maximum capacity. These things are solid and they don't come back broken. Most of the time, people are riding these for the fun of it. They're gonna go check out the casinos, check out the beach, go get some lunch, come back. People want a nice, enjoyable ride. And yes, with the pedal assist, you know, they top out about 20 miles an hour, which, believe me, is fast enough for a cruiser. I mean, that's fast enough for anything. If you add an extra, add 10 miles an hour, that make it, or 8 miles an hour, make it 28 mile an hour. And that's where the legal specs of the e-bikes are in the United States right now. It's 28. It's pretty darn fast as a bike racer. You know, people really don't need to go 28 miles an hour on a cruiser. Example of a Townie. So Townie also is a Townie Go. This one is just a regular Townie. This one does not have the motor. But on a Townie, you get a high handlebar, a little bit different frame geometry, and you usually get a 7 or 8 speed derailleur on a Townie. Same 250 watt motor, 250 watt battery. I do like how clean these things look. So you don't have an external battery. Your battery is built right into the frame. So people say, well, how do you charge it? Well, it's got this little charging port, and you plug it in overnight. I think it's 4 to 5 hours, but I always say let the battery cool off and plug it in overnight. People don't, really don't need to, worry about how fast these charge up. And people ask me all the time, because that's one of the specs people read online is how fast it charge up. It really doesn't matter. I mean, nowadays with the battery capacity, and this is about a 35 mile ride, and most people riding a cruiser don't want to do more than 35 miles anyway, or that could be over a weekend. Most people use a weekend without even putting a charger on it. So it does have a little battery door, and you can buy an battery extender, and it plugs into there to give you about 70 miles. But most people aren't going to spend that much time on this bike. They're going to ride, they're going to have fun, they're going to stop, go to a restaurant, they're going to go to some sites, they're going to go to a music show. They're riding these for fun. You can get plenty of fitness out of it. But even if you do 35 miles on this bike, and it's rare when people rent these bikes and do 35 miles, they might think they want to, but you really don't. You don't need to spend that much time on the saddle. But if you do, at least with an Electra Townie or with Electra Cruiser Go, you do have a very comfortable saddle. I like the wheel tire combination. It's more of a beach bike style, 26 inch by 2.35. Plenty of air volume, so it keeps it nice and comfortable. Let me just say, as a guy that owns a bike shop and rents these things, they're very solid. They don't have a lot of problems. A lot of times when you get high power hooked to a bicycle derailleur, bicycle transmission, and I'm not talking the Electras, I'm talking about maybe some of the high 750 watts hooked to a Shimano Tourney derailleur. That derailleur was never made for 750 watts. It's a derailleur that goes on a $500-600 bike, and people aren't even coming close to how many watts you can put into it. So just know, it's like having a V8 motor hooked to a Toyota Camry transmission. V8 motors are awesome. Toyota Camrys last for a long time, but you mix the two. You put a Toyota Camry in a 16-year-old kid's hands and they start gear jamming, you tear stuff up. And that's the same thing. If your derailleur gets twisted sideways and you don't have a straight chain line and you've got 750 watts or 500 watts and you start twisting things up, believe me, I'm an e-bike mechanic, and that's the thing that happens is people's derailleurs go into their spokes and they twist them off. You don't need that much power generally just cruising around. So think about the Electra Cruiser Go. It's an awesome e-bike. I rent these things out in Biloxi, Mississippi. So if you are coming to Biloxi, you're visiting Biloxi, stop by Biloxi Bicycle Works. It's my little bicycle shop on Howard Avenue, and rent one of these things. Don't even put one on the back of your vehicle. That's my card right there. My name is Bart Luther, aka the Bicycle Rider. This is just a quick video to let you know that these Electra Cruisers are kind of my favorite e-bike. I like the Electra Cruiser Go, Electra Townie Go. I suggest them to a lot of my friends and family, and I do rent these things out. They've been super solid. So if you're looking for a good, reliable e-bike that doesn't weigh 60, 70 pounds, something's easily thrown on a bike rack and easily ridden without a big cumbersome situation, think about the Electra Cruiser Go. They're awesome. I think I'm gonna ride one home tonight. All right, Bicycle Ride YouTube. I'm getting ready to close up the shop for the night and get on out of here, but quick video. These Electra Cruiser Goes are really awesome.